Happy Thursday, everyone. Come on in, join us as we sit around the campfire on this beautiful, chilly, at least it's now chilly in Utah, Thursday night. Welcome to the Cluster Puck Podcast, part of the MHRT Network. Here at Center Ice, I am Nick. Joining me, as always, is Brit. How are you, Brit?
I am good. I'm living. I'm trucking.
I know that's about all we can do, kind of in this type of day and age.
Yeah,
I mean, the Avalanche
it
just
sure feels like it.
Yeah, the Avs just kind of win game after game. If not, they at least take it to overtime, and you're still looking down the barrel of less than
Can't
5
bear to
regulation
miss a
losses.
point.
It's nuts. Okay, so before we begin, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the MHRT Network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Okay, so as promised from last week, obviously with Brit being back, we're going to talk about all the New Year's resolutions that we have for the team. And like I kind of hinted at, the audience last week, your prediction of what mine will be is going to be pretty easy. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Yeah,
though.
It feels like there's really no answer.
There's one glaring one that I
do have one though that I pulled out of my somewhere today as I was
there you go.
barking at somebody about an annoyance of mine, so I can deviate just a little bit. I
like it. I do have a couple that I was able to at least figure out and whatnot throughout the week and whatnot. So, however, let's kind of go through the games that happened before we get into the New Year's resolutions, and then obviously the upcoming games, and then finally the hockey hits of the week. So that being said, we had 3 games that we were discussing last week, all of which you got points. You went 2-0-1 in those 3 games. So let's kind of go through them one by one. So the first one, the Avalanche play host to the Ottawa Senators, and by the skin of their teeth, I mean just about as close as you can get, they narrowly,
it was nerve-wracking,
escaped.
My God,
with an 8-2 win.
It was one of those games. I've said this before.
That would be the one.
I'm not sure if it's my internet or yours. I hate the games where you win by too much to where it becomes embarrassing. It's like, stop scoring. I feel, because I just think about the goalie moms, and they changed goalies, and I said that's too soon. And so then they changed goalies after 3 goals, put the backup in, and then they ended up having to do it again. They had to put the poor backup back out of his misery. God.
That's one where it's like, boy, you don't see that one very often, do you? Where you swap your goalie and then swap them again because the backup did worse than the starter. You know, it's just, you can't
that is why you don't pull them that early unless they have scored 10 goals in the first, because it was still in the first period and he had let in 3 goals, and it's like, buddy, there's no guarantee your backup's going to do any better than that.
Yep, you are 100% correct. It was only 2-0 going into the first intermission.
And you'd much rather see your backups soul sucked than... Oh, was it 2? Sorry. I keep thinking there's like a lag here.
No, you're good.
But
either
that
way,
I think was a mistake on the coach's part.
Even if it were 3-0, Brett, I still would. If it were me, I still would have at least kept the goalie in, because you don't know what could have happened. You know, as soon as it's 4-5,
especially
then that's grounds to pull. But at the same time,
exactly.
I don't know. Tough to say.
It's not like it was like Hellebuck and he lets in, when he lets in 3 goals on 10 shots, that there's something seriously wrong, that that you need to preserve his mental his mental safety or whatever. Those are the kind of guys that you're more concerned about not letting experience that. But I mean, they don't have any solidified goalie of superstar talent, so really they shouldn't be pulling that fast, especially when they're struggling so much that it's not like it's a one-off situation where pulling the goalie is going to embarrass the team and spark something, or you know what I mean?
I do. Yep.
Just tried to wait it as long as possible. Sorry, I got
Yeah.
the hiccups like always.
No, you're good. You're
Never
good.
fails the second I get on here.
It's the three constants of life, Britt. Death, taxes, and you having the hiccups.
And every time I go out to read Chuck-a-Puck during Muskies games, I always have the hiccups during Chuck-a-Puck when I have to name number after number after number, walking in a circle. Never fails.
That's too bad.
But yeah, it's I think that it was kind of, they did dirty to that goalie, because there's a good chance that he could have still turned that around and finished it. But now that you pulled him, he doesn't get a good chance to redeem himself when he gets put back in. So it's not like it just wasn't, it didn't do anybody any good. So usually you can at least try to gain a little bit of positive somewhere in those situations, but they're not exactly good at doing really anything. And I kind of wondered after that game, when the hell are we going to see Brady demand a trade out of that shithole, to be perfectly honest? And I'm an underdog loving queen, but they have royally screwed everything up every single chance humanly possible. They're the worst.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell it's a bad game, at least for Ottawa, when the Avs, their best player, and obvious in my opinion, first star of the game, is Josh Manson, who almost gets a double Gordie Howe
my God
in the game. He was incredible.
How wonderful. Yeah. And if he would have gotten that other goal, that would have been the first time in history to have what was it? Like a double hat trick Gordie Howe. Oh, God, I can't even think of what exactly it was.
So actually, Brett, just to correct you just for a second, he had the 2 goals.
Please do.
He had the 2 assists. He needed a second fight, which, knowing Josh Manson, he could have done at any point in time.
Oh, God. You know? They would have, and anybody would have gladly given it to him. Was this a key fight? Or was that Columbus?
Say that one more time.
Was this the game with the Sammy G fight, too?
Oh, was it? No, I think that one might have been Columbus. You might be right on that. It might be Columbus.
It was some big old asshole that fought him. That had no right fighting my sweet little.
But how about Sammy G? You know, 5'6" or whatever he is, just standing up for himself. Pretty good, huh?
He is literally height and weight wise. Granted, I probably got a lot more fat, and he's probably got a lot more muscle. He is the exact same specs as me.
Is that right?
The exact same. Yeah. I remember looking him up, and I'm like, I could be an NHL player. I'm not going to say that he shouldn't be an NHL player. It's that I could be an NHL player, and maybe I'm destined to be one as well. Unfortunately, with goalies, there's no breaking in when you're 5'6". It's like 6'2" or bust.
Yeah, it's I mean, to be that short in this type of league, you have to be like either like super hardened or super toughened or whatever it is,
nifty,
or just be good. You know, like I think a Cole Caulfield,
little guy,
but
we've seen the toll it's taken on him. I mean, he's had some really gnarly injuries, and it's hard to say that if he were taller and more stout, he probably wouldn't have quite the amount of injuries that he does, but seeing him fight was like, and she like fearlessly. He was not looking to back down from that at all. Hopefully the Sammy G haters shut up for like 5 minutes. I have not been on the internet at all, so I refuse to read anything negative about that because my man made me proud. But yeah, and like for Josh Manson's dad to be in the stands for that, and if everybody, I think I've said this like a million times, but Josh Manson's dad, I believe, is that like one of the all-time leading penalty minute takers. So he did his dad proud with a couple of fights. And I don't know about you, but I feel like we've seen him in a couple of fights this year, and it like gets away from me I mean, that man could quit the NHL tomorrow and become a professional boxer. He is truly one of the most fierce fighters in the NHL. I mean, I would put him up next to Olivier any day of the week.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, but ultimately, I mean, it kind of reflected his fighting ability or whatever. You know, I'm kind of drawing a parallel is the game kind of reflected exactly how he fights, right? Where just the game itself was out of hand, similar to how his fights are. They just get out of hand quickly. He always has the upper hand, and that's kind of exactly what happened here. Now, at the same time, there had been a lot of swirls around the rumor mill regarding the Senators, and I can't help but wonder if, like, mentally, their minds just
people were
not
turning
in
their
the
backs on
game.
him pretty quick.
Yeah, and so
God,
I
yeah,
can't
that
help but
game.
wonder.
So the whole Olmark situation, I don't know that everybody's heard about it, and I hate to add to, but it's not like you and I are the rumor mill that people are coming to, but there was rumors that Olmark had been tattling on players for cheating on their wives. And that same day, it had come back that Olmark had actually been caught as having been cheated on his wife. And now he was the one in trouble, and that's because he's been on personal leave.
And that's why he'd been on that personal leave.
Several weeks, So
and it got to a point, Britt, sorry to cut you off.
Mid-game that they made that statement.
They made an announcement in the middle of a game. The Ottawa Senators organization did, where they're just saying that's false. It's disgusting how these internet trolls are doing all this stuff. But at the same time,
that statement was embarrassing.
It was, and that's the hard part. It's like if it gets to a point where these rumors are swirling and becoming so believed with zero base, with some, that that it's getting to the players, and that's all they're thinking about.
That's the insanity of it, because that had to have had a huge effect. That these guys they have a long time in between periods. They're looking at their phone in between periods. Oh, yeah. They're hearing the bullshit going on mid-game. So what the GM Steve Stais said, that it was a completely fabricated and false story, and he used just like the way that he worded it about trolls and blah 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 made it so dramatic. The account that posted it was literally just like an account that was brand new. It was made that day. It didn't have
just some rando. Like it wasn't.
It wouldn't have gotten any traction. Exactly. Steve Stais doing that gave it every single ounce of traction. Every single podcast that I've listened to, from SDPN to 32 Thoughts, they specifically said we never would have even discussed this had it not been so loudly brought to front and center by their GM, but that's because their GM made. So this is the GM's full statement. Our organization was extremely disappointed to read the completely fabricated and false stories that are spreading around social media about our hockey club. Linus is away from our team for personal reasons, and he has been the entire organization's support. We ask that people respect his privacy, but clearly that request was not heard by the lowest forms of trolls and sick people who scour the internet. We are disgusted that outside forces are attempting to disrupt our hockey club. This statement will put an end to the ridiculous speculation that is spread online. And that last line is no, it won't, buddy. And
you're certainly trying.
Makes it even tougher because they didn't say that it wasn't true. So now it's out there in the open loudly. And when it does come true, you know what I mean? It sucks for Olmark, even if it is true or isn't true. It's just, I heard that he wants to be traded. So and with them putting out that story, you can't tell me that one guy doesn't catch a notification. That they're getting notifications for their team's Facebook or their team's Twitter, and they read it, and then it's just like, oh, holy shit, dude, go look at Facebook in the locker room. And that's, granted, we started the game off strong, but
there could have been
honestly, it was pathetic how quickly they nosedive. I mean, there's very clearly something very, very wrong with the whole entire team's play in the end of that game.
It is.
I feel bad for them. If it hadn't been such a great night for Josh Manson, I wouldn't have enjoyed that game in any way, shape, or form.
Probably. I mean, I was having a great time. 8-2. Sure, I'll take an easy win every day of the week.
Yeah.
Speaking of more, I guess, so to speak, easy wins. The next game, the Avalanche blank the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0.
Yeah.
Now the crazy part about this one, Britt, isn't necessarily the fact that they got that shutout, which, again, against Columbus, who at the time was last place in the East. It was about who
Yeah.
was the net for the Colorado Avalanche, and that would be none other than Trent Miner, stopping 29 of 29,
Oh man,
getting
I'm
his
so
first
happy
career
for
shutout, I
him.
believe his first career
Yeah.
win as well with the
Full
Avs,
game.
and he did great. I
Yeah.
don't know how else to say it other than he was flawless.
If anybody in this organization has put in the work between he has gone from Colorado Eagles to Grizzlies to Eagles to Grizzlies. I mean, he has been in the organization for such a long time, and there's nobody that way up to the top. I mean, he's certainly not ready, I don't think. We definitely learned that the following night, but it had in the AHL that he may very well be a very competent backup goalie.
It could be.
At some point.
And I remember, I mean, some time ago, this was probably been 2-3 seasons ago, we would go to Grizzlies games just up here in West Valley City, just up the road from us. And he was the starting goaltender for the Utah Grizzlies. And
Yeah.
he at that point in time, kind of like with what you said, Britt, he was jumping between, AHL and ECHL, but now he's gone out and blanked an NHL team.
And it doesn't
so
matter what team it is in the NHL. Blinking any NHL team is incredible. It doesn't matter if it's everybody's,
yeah, it does not matter at this point in time if it was like, the Sharks from last season where they at this point had 2 wins in their pocket. An NHL team is an NHL team, right? And so for him to go out and do this is extremely impressive. He did, again, but the defense did play well in front of him. Everyone played well in front of him. But to me, again, he's the obvious first star, and he was kind of the obvious talk of the town.
And it's just incredibly reassuring to know that we have next, it's never been a concern to me this year whether it was going to be Minor or excuse me, Blackwood or Wedgwood playing. We thought that was so grand that we never had to have any kind of concern. And now it's honestly, I mean, granted, I'm not going to take comfort in knowing that Trent Miner is our starting goalie in the playoffs, should that happen. But we're to the point any of those 3 guys, which thank God with our injury statuses this year, but I think that we could have any of them play any game, and it's,
Yeah. No, for sure. It's what did they say that they were calling him Trent Minerwood to join the Denver Lumberyard. I think that was a pretty fun little nickname that they were starting to give him to join Scott Wedgwood and Mackenzie Blackwood for the Lumberyard. I thought that was pretty fun. But this game,
I'm just glad he got it because he kind of followed the same trajectory as Miska, where it seemed like he I respect about Jared Bednar as much as I despise a lot of the way he executes his was it the next one? Or am I mistaken there? Was it he got another start, and
he did.
That is a direct message from Jared Bednar in how he feels about him. It goes really far with Bednar.
And in fact, let's go ahead and talk about that game, Britt. So the next game that they played in their beautiful Nordiques jerseys was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They lose this game in overtime, Britt, 4-3, and they do take it to overtime, which it felt like in and of itself was nothing short of a miracle. But at the same time, what excuse me, what bugged me so much about this game is that they had opportunity after opportunity to score or to at least make a better play in front of the net. And I think that was the part that really just...
we looked completely off keel. We looked like a team who needed a freaking break, who has been doing this too long, Max. They needed a little bit of a break because I think they just hit the end of the runway.
Right. And which again, that's kind of the parody of this league though, isn't it? Where it's like the Avs, who were phenomenal at home the entire season, they'll lose to the Maple Leafs, who are still vying for a playoff spot.
Yeah, they just moved into a playoff spot, I think, in that game.
Go ahead.
The Leafs are fighting for their lives, though, and they are surging when they come into Ball Arena. They had 8. They were like 8-2 since firing Mike Savard. So they were at the top of the top as far as vibes, and they had just gotten is as far as like motivation, injuries, time-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Game away from beating once again, the story of the night, I think, is Trent Miner played absolutely phenomenal. The overtime goal, not great. And I'd say two of them always finds a way a couple times a year. Disgust from me, and that overtime goal was it. Watching him just
and that was the hard part too, is because when he was making, when Miner was making that slide over, he actually had the pads, he had that positioning.
Yeah.
And that was the hard part, because he had the blocker, or excuse me, the pad down, but then as he readjusted and that left pad came up, that's where the puck slid just right through. And it's one of those where it's like it's just one mistake and it ends up costing the game. But I think you're right, Britt, kind of talking about Trent Miner. It's like he absolutely deserved to get that second chance. And exactly what you said, Bednar had been, this is a sign of Bednar trusting you to go and perform again based off of what you just did to Columbus. And he did a very fine job. I mean, just to take the Maple Leafs.
He did. I mean, that was a true NHL win.
Yeah, so just to go
something
to
take home and be proud of for the rest of your life. And
exactly, and I think it's a great.
I think my biggest thing negative.
Sorry, go ahead.
That play that Nathan MacKinnon gave up on is to me one of the things that always be it one of those separating things that keeps him from being the best in the world, because.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't watch enough Oilers, but I don't think that you see McDavid give up like that and that attitude. Yeah. And I could argue with myself in that his attitude and his like the little bitchy sassy self is what propels him to have that fire that we also can't get out of McDavid. Like,
Sure, but you got to think about the trade-off, Britt. I mean, there have been so many times in his career, McKinnon's career, where if he had spent literally 2 seconds less complaining to
Nick,
the referees,
I have an album
jumping into the plays, that they could have prevented a catastrophe result. Most of the time, they seem to score when he's nagging the referees. He's the greatest player
and
on
I have
earth,
a whole
he still has
album
issues,
in my phone that's just called Bitchy McKinnon. Like,
there you
just
go.
Him. All of his various pouting. Is that the game that he wailed the wall with his stick? Like the glass as hard as he could?
Yep, I believe so.
It's so embarrassing, but it's also important to remember that is the attitude that drives him to be a maniac in the right times also. But man, it's hard to watch sometimes. It's my child. It's like 11-year-old level tantrums, but such are men.
But I guess that's true. Such are we as men. So that, but again, you have to look at big picture, right? It's an overtime loss. You don't look at the record, Brit, right now for the Avalanche is 33-4-8.
I
And you're
know.
halfway
Because
through the
after that
season
one,
with
I was like,
4 regulation losses. Okay. You're
no,
fine. Like everything's gonna be fine. You have an 11-point lead over the second place team, who is also the second place in the division. Um, but that to me is that's kind of that pettiness in me right now, right? Where it's like, yeah, but look at all these overtime
oh, I
losses
think I
that we've
lost you.
had that we could have had that
Yeah.
extra point and gotten even
Man.
more ahead.
For someone
It's
that bitches about feasting on overtime points, we sure are feasting on overtime points this
we
year.
are.
We're
You're
gonna be like
exactly right.
Calgary, where they've had more losses than wins. And I'm kind of a traitor. I listen to SCPN. I love the Maple Leafs, the team. They're just kind of my like little my foster team, my pitied foster team. It was really, if they're gonna score a goal, I'm glad that it was Nathan McKinnon, and it was really nice to see Austin Matthews finally look like Austin Matthews, because he has truly just been a shell of himself. And that shot, that no look, I mean,
it was a classic Austin Matthews for sure.
that's the exact shot that these kids that are going to be some of the best in the world are forming their game after. So I thought it was kind of cool. It was nice to see. If they're going to score, I'd rather it be just an absolute snipe from Matthews.
Sure. Well, and that was kind of what I was going to say is like you look at the parity of this league where so kind of like with what I was saying a few minutes ago, the Maple Leafs will go into Ball Arena and beat the number 1 team in overtime,
Oh my
right?
God.
But the
They're
very
so dumb.
next day they will go to Utah, and I was at this game, and get absolutely run out of the building 6-1. And it's
God.
just kind of
They're
one of those
poor
nods
tortured
to,
fans. Oh my God.
well, it was nice seeing a lot of them leave early. I'll tell you that much. Boy, howdy, some of them were pretty annoying.
Absolutely. Well,
But
and Utah hasn't been as they were to start the year. Oh,
no, I mean they're still in that wild
yeah.
card
Leafs
spot. In
fans
fact, they're
travel
going toe to
well.
toe with Dallas as we speak. It's 0-0 going toward the end of the second period. But yeah, the Central Division itself, I guess, Britt, is so it's so stacked. I mean, obviously, right now there's those top 3, very obvious top 3 teams of
Yeah.
Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. Excuse me. But that's not to say that just
Yeah.
because there's that big 11-point gap between third and fourth that it's no less competitive. It's just been that kind of a season
No,
with
and
the Central Division
that's
as
the
a
whole
whole.
league this year, though. The league
Oh,
is
sure.
absolutely insane. They're chanting to fire Chris Drury.
Well, and
I mean,
I'll tell you this right now.
everything that we
There is a
expected has
certain
been flipped
someone
on its head.
in this apartment, Britt, that
Oh
also is
God.
chanting "Fire Chris Drury." So
Every time I hear more of the New York Rangers woes, I just think, oh, Allie, my poor friend. And it's
yeah,
I don't
she's
know if
kind of
you've
going
seen
through
it,
it.
but there is some very strong, verified, important people rumors that the Avs are very in on Panarin right now, and they have been on the past. The Avs have gone very hard at Panarin in the past. So the way I see it is, if the Avs do get Panarin, Allie has no choice but to be a full-time Avs.
She kind of, yeah, she's got the handcuffs on. She's got no choice. Come to the dark side. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So those are the games that have happened, obviously. So real quick, let's kind of talk the kind of meat and potatoes of this episode. New Year's resolutions. I held off on it, Britt, last week because obviously I wanted to have you on, so we could kind of go through some New Year's resolutions for this 2025-2026 Colorado Avalanche team. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll get the first one off of my chest because I've been bottling it up for ever since the beginning of the season, apparently. And it is this: you are the best team in the league. Your record shows it. The metrics show it. You have like a plus 70 something in the goal differential. Both goalies have a sub 300 save percentage, save goals against, whatever I'm trying to say, a plus 900 in save percentage. You're doing phenomenally. Like, there is, in every facet of the game, you are superior, except
elite,
for one.
Absolutely elite, record breaking, even.
Except for one, Brit, and that is the power play. They are dead last in this power play efficiency as far as how much of an advantage it gives to you. There was a metric, I can't remember the name of this social media page that I follow, but they did a bit on how the Avalanche are so dominant, but their power play is so terrible that it's defying all logic right now, because most teams get about 40 to 50% better when they're on the power play. The Avalanche,
and it's become a thing. I think that teams play better because they know that we're so awful at it.
And it could be. And the thing that just drives me nuts, Britt, is you've known, and for those of you watching at home, you guys have known that I am so against how this power play is run, because a lot of times it's a predictable backward pass, and it's one guy coming into the zone. As soon as you bottleneck him up, you can slap the puck out of the zone and they have to retry. It is so difficult for the Avs to set up a power play and get into the offensive zone to do that, right? And when they do, Britt, this is my other pet peeve, it's pass. There's no,
until the one thing that we've seen help it out a little bit is Brock Nelson.
He's been he and Marty Natchez to an extent have been kind of the only real pack mules in this power play where they're actually doing things. It drives me nuts, and the problem comes from the coaching, right? It's Dave Hackstall, who is our power play coach, and just whatever system he has in place does not work. The Avalanche, according to the metrics, only get an 18% increase of scoring when they're on the power play. 18%, Britt, that's less than a quarter of an increase when you're up a man multiple times in the game.
We're so far past the concept of like playing through it, just grinding it out. There's something has to change drastically.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I wish I could tell you what it is, but for some reason, you have a potent offense. You have the greatest player on earth, or at least one of the greatest players on earth, the best defenseman on earth. You have every tool you could want at your disposal, but you cannot simply bring the puck into the zone while up a man. Like
and that's what, at the point in the game where you have extra space, less opposition, there's simply no logical reason. It seems as though it may just be an issue mentally. I think that it's like gotten in their heads at some, you know what I mean? It's almost like they have made it so complicated in their heads that they fumble even more than if they were just struggling. And to me, that is a coaching problem.
That's exactly what I would say too, is it comes from the coaching. So either Hackstall has to figure this out, Bednar's got to step in, somebody has to step
in and demand that the personnel change on the power play, even if you have to put the fourth line out there and just say, fuck, fine, like all of you everybody's off that's been playing it all year, and these are the guys that are going out, and
something has to be different.
It really can't get any worse. I mean, it genuinely statistically can't.
Last, like I can't believe it. The penalty kill's okay, right? That's fine, but the power play,
kind of, yeah.
You're that potent of a team that cannot.
And not only are we scoring, I believe that we lead in letting in the most shorthanded goals in the league, which that is like, considering how good our goalies have been this year,
it's so strange. Cool. It's like you're number one, or at least top 5 in every freaking category of the game, except for the 2 where it's like, how are you leading in this category, or how are you dead last in this category? I don't get it. Anyways, That's my New Year's resolution. The first New Year's resolution definitely is to fix the freaking power play. You can change it. It's not that difficult. You have the manpower to do it. So just
even if you have to go scorched earth, put the third power play unit out to start a power play. Make a point and piss Nathan. You still there?
Oh, there you go. Sorry, you froze for just a couple of seconds. I was wondering what was going on. So I'll say that for my first New Year's resolution, Britt. So I'll go ahead and give it to you. What is a New Year's resolution that you have for the remainder of the 2026 portion of the season?
So, I mean, like you said, when you consider the list of problems that this team has pretty much begins and ends with the power play, I think that the other resolution needs to be prioritizing health. And I know that some people are very, very anti maintenance game like benchings, but I think that going into the Olympics and then coming out, we need to prioritize health. And I'd like to see the minutes even out when they are on the ice. Bednar's first go-to when a game is not secured is the fourth line doesn't touch the ice. I think it was the last game. I think the third line got like 4 minutes, didn't touch the ice in the third. We have to get to a point where we are not working, especially Cale Makar and Devontae's defensively has been pretty solid. Still some of the same giant glaring, painful mistakes that cost them dearly, but Devontae's really hasn't had the best year. And Brent Burns is not a spring chicken, which we didn't even mention. Brent Burns, hell yeah, man. That guy is what a wonderful, wonderful addition. It's just a shame that we won't be able to keep him for too long because we're literally playing one of the oldest players in the NHL. But it would be nice to see those guys perfectly healthy and just very rested. And I think that they have earned that by being where they are in the standings.
Yeah. And I think
so prioritize a more even ice time is really what I think they should be going for.
Yeah. And that's a fair resolution to have, Britt. I think that's it. The logic is sound. Because like you look at what happened to Gabe Landeskog against was it Carolina, I believe, and then Florida, sorry, and then Devon Taves against Carolina. Those are two Olympians, right? And with the Olympics coming up in 3 weeks, right? Like you can't.
And it sure seems like Gabe's injury was what it seems like, and ribs, while they're unbelievably painful, fortunately there's something that heal quite quickly and heal quite nicely, but they just made the choice that you're going to sit out regardless. So that, I mean, this is Gabe's last shot. A lot of our big boys, this is going to be the only chance to play in the Olympics for them. And Gabe, with his comeback story, he is literally going to be rolling into Sweden like a king on just a huge stallion. I mean, so I'm hoping that that's what it is they Devontae they haven't guaranteed that he would be ready in time, which I don't know if we also discussed this or if you read it. Olympics and going to the bad place when I am not going. He's decided to stay home.
Yeah. I think kind of going back to what you said, Britt, I think that New Year's resolution it makes sense, right? Which, and like you said, it's not something you see very often as far as, kind of rest days, so to speak. but maybe with the record you have currently, and the fact that playoffs that you're probably going to clinch in 2 weeks, like you're that far ahead. It could just be maybe that's the key, is at least up until the Olympic break, so that these players can go and represent their home countries. So I think that's a pretty good one. Okay, so I have an additional New Year's resolution, and she dropped right off. That's okay though. I'll tell everyone else, and she'll have to figure it out later. My other New Year's resolution is this. I don't really want to pick on anyone specifically, and that's not my intention, obviously. But particularly, I want to see Victor Olofsson kind of.
You got me.
Oh, there you go. You're good. My other New Year's
our internet's just been horrific. Sorry, that was.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was about to give everyone my other secret and then say that you had to figure it out later, but you came back quicker. So, my other New Year's resolution, it revolves around Victor Olofsson. Okay, he's a very good player and he can score. Like, he's got that talent, but for some reason he's very Andre Burakovsky-esque, where he'll just disappear for long periods of time. And that's not to say that he's doing anything bad. It's just one of those, like, he's got that talent. He scores. He goes on these really good hot streaks, but for some reason, he just vanishes. And so that's my other New Year's resolution.
It's wild.
I want to see,
so crazy.
I want to see Victor Olofsson go up in any capacity,
my friend. You don't have to like whip out a hat trick and then just like slither back in a hole for a month. Some consistency would be real nice.
Yep. So that's another New Year's resolution of mine, Britt. What about you?
My other one, I kind of brought it up with you already, but it was getting rid of the shorthanded goals, or the power play goals, letting the other team score shorthanded. It really pisses me off. Like, to me, it's such an egregious disrespect on your goalies to allow that to happen so frequently. And when you consider the number of goals that have been scored on us while we're on the power play and the other team is shorthanded, you have to think about, there have been just as many wonderful saves that our goalies have bailed us out in those situations. It could be even worse because we give away a lot of very, very, most of them are wide open breakaways. And those need to stop. You need to respect your goalies more than I would feel very, especially they even pulled it on Trent Miner and he made a good save on a power play breakaway. So
yeah, I think that kind of goes hand in hand, Britt, with what I was saying about just how the power play is so just ridiculous, that they're giving up these shorthanded goals. So I think that's a perfectly reasonable resolution too. Like, it's not that hard to ask for.
No. Yeah. Especially, it's one thing to ask them to score, which is also reasonable to be expecting them to score, but to be asking them to not give away completely wide open breakaways, that feels like it's just not asking much.
Yeah, which I think so.
Yeah, get your brain in the right place.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so I think we'll at least have those two each to share. Obviously, I'm sure there's a lot more of these nitpicky ones, but honestly, after that kind of stuff, I don't have too much as far as like big major changes. I mean, the Avs have been doing a very, very good job. And again, like I said, with the record that you have right now, you don't really have room to complain or throw new things out there. So we'll keep this pinned, obviously, but these are wonderful New Year's resolutions, Britt, that I think you've made, and I think mine have done a pretty good job myself. So I think we'll move right along into the next segment of this episode and talk about the upcoming games.
Okay.
3 of them. Let me pull them up. I just had it, and then the page refreshed. 3 upcoming games. The first one is just tomorrow at the time of this live episode, Friday, January 16th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, puck drop against the Nashville Predators, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last time you will see them this year. I still am not satisfied with how some of these games have gone against Nashville. I don't know what to say. I mean, you shut them out.
They're turning into one of those Achilles heel type teams. They're just a bug in our butt. I don't know why.
Yeah, and again, you've won 2 out of the 3 already, so at the very least, you split the series. But and you've won. You won the first game 3-0. You lost the second one 4-3 in shootouts, and then you won the third one 2-4. But for some reason, that's just not enough for me. I don't know what it is about just the Nashville Predators of this year, where it's like, even though you're winning and you got points in all 3 games, it just doesn't feel like a satisfactory win. None of them have.
No.
And one of them was a shutout.
It feels like we've had quite a few of those games that we win, but it's like, are we satisfied with winning, playing our C game?
Yeah.
Or
I think that's exactly actually a really good way of putting it. And I think that's going to be my key to the game, Brit, is to bring your A game against the Predators. And again, the score may be what it is, right? A win is a win, obviously. But I want to see that A game. I think that's exactly. I think your key to the game is going to be mine. Is to bring that A game against the Nashville Predators.
They're not going to be enough in the playoffs. And what are we doing if not just trying to be prepared for the playoffs?
Yeah. And again, because it could be that Nashville ends up being that second wild card spot. I mean, a lot of these Central teams are putting like a 6-point blanket right now, and it could still be any one of them. So it could be Nashville, right? And if this is how you're playing against them in the regular season, and if they squeak into the postseason somehow, then it might be more difficult than you think, we
are setting up. Think about Tampa being eliminated after, it's set up way too good for us to get eliminated in the first round in embarrassing fashion by some team that'll go on and immediately also be eliminated, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens. So I think that's a perfect example, Brit, of keys to the game. So just go out, play your A game, and move on. That's going to be it for me. Next game, Monday. This is MLK Day, so it's going to be a 2 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop, nationally televised, and Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals come to Ball Arena to play the Avalanche. Now, this is right now the Washington Capitals kind of belong to Tom Wilson and John Carlson.
Yeah,
if I'm going to be completely
honest. Very odd season for them.
Yes. And that's not to say that Ovechkin's lost his touch or anything like that. I mean, he's old, right? He broke Wayne Gretzky's record and then some, right? That's, you can't argue that. Okay. But right now, this team, all the points wise, Tom Wilson's in first with 42 points on that team. Goals wise, he's got the most with 22. And then John Carlson, obviously, he'll come in with 29 assists, most on that team. But it's very difficult to really pin what their strongest point is, because it could be something different at any given time or any given game, if that makes any sense. So it's hard to really say exactly what the key to the game is going to be. I would probably say you have to be tough if I'm going to say anything, because obviously Tom Wilson, we know his antics, we know his persona. So I think you're just going to have to match toughness for toughness, and don't let that become a distracting factor in this game. Through all intents and purposes, you should be able to just go in, get a gritty win, and get out, right? But you cannot let people get under your skin.
It's one
So
of
it's
those
going to take
teams
a lot
that
of
will
that
catch you.
determination and
Yeah.
discipline to do.
Oh, you still got me here?
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, I thought you were,
Okay.
I was giving it to you. Sorry.
They're just one of those teams. Honestly, I'm in the exact same place. I feel like so many of the things that we talk about, that generally we have different concerns and different topics and different things. It's going to be a matter of showing up and playing a full 60 minutes.
Yep.
It'd be really nice to get out of this as it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's not something that we can rely on for much longer.
Right.
So showing up, it's just one of those games that I could see them embarrassing us. I could see them putting up, 6 or 7 goals on us and kind of hitting one of those rock bottoms that we haven't seen hit at all this.
That was exactly what I was going to say is, the Avalanche have not had one of these massive regulation losses yet, where they just get thumped by 3 or 4 plus goals. And I don't necessarily want it to start, because I'm fine with just these 1, maybe 2 goal losses. And you only have 4 of them, so I'd rather not have it be against the Capitals and then Alexander Ovechkin scores like 5 on you. You know what I mean?
Put him back in the news.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think that's exactly what I'll say for my key to the game is to be disciplined, still be tough. You have to match their toughness, but you have to keep your mind in the game. You got to get the job done, and you got to move on and get ready for the Anaheim Ducks. And we'll go right into that, actually. So the third game that we'll talk about for this week is against the Anaheim Ducks. That's Wednesday, January 21st, 7 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. Now, here's something interesting. Well, I guess not interesting. It's kind of sad for Anaheim, but until they won their game, excuse me, until they won their game a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I should say, they were on, Brit, a 9-game losing streak. They were first in the Pacific Division before 9 straight losses. Something happened.
Got it. Every time it feels like they're on the verge of a breakout, them in Columbus, it's like, feels like the Ducks did everything that the Sharks did, but it just didn't go the same way. The Sharks are, they're not taking over the league with wins, but they're thriving and they're happy, and the players, everything is going.
Yeah.
See Trevor Zegras just living his best life, happy and beloved.
Mm-hmm.
The Flyers, they have embraced him and they are just loving the absolute crap out of him. Granted, Cutter's not doing a terrible job, but it's certainly not going as it is with Zegras.
Right. And with that 9-game losing streak, they've fallen, like I said, from first in the Pacific all the way out of a playoff spot now. Right now the 2 wild cards are held by San Jose and Utah.
So crazy.
Which is insane to think, but boy howdy, I'll tell you what, that San Jose team is so much fun to watch. Like their chemistry is just off the charts.
If you don't love them, then you're just not a fun person. Like it's just you're looking to hate something, you're just a hater. Yeah.
There you go. But my key to the game, I guess, Brit, against Anaheim is whatever mental block or whatever just bad play they've been having. Obviously, Dallas, they've been able to correct that now. But you got to keep that pendulum swung against them, and I hate to say it because I don't want to see Anaheim continue to lose games, but I don't want to see them beat the Avalanche either. And there have been a lot of times, Brit, where they have come to Ball Arena, at least in seasons past, where they would come in where it should be a scheduled win, and they will lose that game,
Yeah.
So it's kind of that reverse psychology effect of the California road trip where they come to you and beat you. So I think a lot of it, again, these keys to the game, they're going to be so boring, but they're going to still hold true, is to just 60 full minutes of foot on the gas. And if you do that and take advantage of your power plays when you're given them, because you'll get power play opportunities with this team, you got to just turn those around and score on them. Otherwise, you are putting yourself in a vulnerable position if you're not taking advantage of the power play opportunities. So that's kind of all I have, Britt. I don't know if you had anything else to add on the Anaheim game.
No, I don't think so.
Cool. So again, three very attainable wins upcoming. I don't think there's going to be anything really, this is a marquee matchup or anything like that. But again, these could be trap games if you're not careful. Any game could be a trap game if you're not careful, but these three in particular,
especially when we are the measuring stick right now, every team is coming to us and giving us their very best game. That's how it's going to be. We set the standard, and we're what everybody's talking about, and it makes a huge statement for that team, and it sets like such a good tone for a team to beat us that they're going to be looking and giving us everything.
There you go. Okay, so that's going to wrap up that bit for the upcoming games. Again, like I said, all of them are very winnable. Brit left. I must have offended her. But that'll bring us to our last little segment of the episode, which is our hockey hits of the week. So for those of you who are new to this show, well, I'll recap once again. Hockey hits of the week is something that Britt and I do where we give a song based off of how the week went. Could be a good, I mean, most of the time it's been good. I'll say that right now. But we just give a song based off of just how the overall mood is, how everything goes. So we provide a song that we will put on a Spotify playlist for you guys to listen to at your heart's content. So I'll go first, Britt, for my hockey hit of the week.
Can you hear me there? I got disconnected for a second.
You're good. I got you.
Internet situation is mad.
Is what now? Sorry. Oh, she's breaking up, Britt. Still breaking up. So I'll go ahead and continue on with mine, and then we'll dish it over to Britt for her hockey hit of the week. So mine comes from a Swedish metal band by the name of Sabaton, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Sabaton. I really very much enjoy them. The song comes from a newer album that came out in October from them, from the Legends album, and the song is called I Emperor. And it kind of just reflects the season as a whole. There's a certain lyric in there that just says, I will conquer all, I will rule you. And that's basically been the Avalanche's MO this entire season is I will conquer all, I will rule you. So it's kind of going along the same way, right? With just how they're picking up these teams, laying them down. And so Sabaton's I Emperor is the hockey hit of the week for me, Britt.
That's I kind of go back and forth whether I want to pick something that everybody's going to know the song or whether I want to go a little more obscure and bring out a song that people haven't heard. So this week, I decided to pick one of my more obscure songs that I don't think people have heard, but is 100% worth looking up. I absolutely love this guy. His music videos are so bizarre and so hilarious. So his name is Abel Hart. And he's just this kind of really goofy, super high energy dude. And the song that I picked for this week is called Vibrations. And a lot of his music is super positive, like high energy. He's super vibes guy. So for Magnet, I was looking up some of the lyrics. He talks about basically he's like a magnet for good stuff because he works for it. Don't have to force it. I just get it. Speak it out loud and the universe will print it. The people in my corner are always grinning. They got a smile. They be happy. I be winning. It's a super upbeat energy. It's definitely a pre-hockey game song to listen to if you're one of those ones that personally I listen to like angry music before hockey games or like angry rap. But if you're in the mood for a positive song, they are I mean, just winning and good stuff as much as we go on and on about the power play, and it kind of grows old because that's literally all that we can whine about. So I feel like they are a magnet for good things right now.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so those are our hockey hits of the week. Again, we'll put it onto a Spotify playlist for you guys to listen to.
Yeah.
You can also look them up yourselves.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments too, like on the YouTube
video.
There you go. I'll go throw them in the.
Perfect. That sounds good. So, Britt, I think that's going to drive us all the way to the end of the road for this episode. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add.
No, it's feels like we're just kind of recording the same episode over and over again.
Kind of
but
does.
It's better this way than in a state of despair, you know, where we're
I'm waiting for that 1 week that I can actually put a sad song in the playlist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's been nothing but good vibes for like the entire season.
It's
so
almost kind of bashful. But hopefully it'd be nice to see. I think the biggest, most interesting thing coming up here is what is our goalie situation, because Mackenzie Blackwood has sure been odd. So that's my biggest fear. And the power play continues to be the biggest concern.
I totally agree with that. So fingers crossed they turn that around, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to run us, like I said, all the way to the end of this episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week on the Cluster Puck Podcast, part of the MHRT Network. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the MHRT Network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. With that being said, we got three games coming up, a good 6 points that we could pocket for ourselves. So I say, let's go and get them. Have a great weekend. And as always, go Avs, go.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.